let me say good afternoon to everyone. Kind of wanted to provide an update to where things are. And standing with me today, of course, is Officer Captain Lieutenant, what is it? Chief Larry Satterwhite, and who was out here yesterday, kind of overseeing the operation again with us today. Jeff Weatherford with the Houston Public Works Department, and of course, Dr. Persse, who is the medical examiner for us? Medical director. So let me just kind of provide a brief update as to where things are. And as you can see, it's a different look today than it was on yesterday. A lot of water was everywhere on yesterday, and that water is now gone as of today. Let me say to you that as of really about 10 o'clock last night, the pressure in the system seemed like it had returned. Midnight, they did some readings. The pressure was normal. 5 o'clock this morning, pressure was normal. And as of now, the pressure is normal. So the entire system pretty much has been pressurized. They isolated where the break was, and they are working now to repair it. The work will continue through the weekend. Because this was a major line. I refer to it as the major artery for the city, a 96-inch line. So the work will continue through the weekend and possibly on Monday, and then we expect for the water to be flowing through this line again sometime on Tuesday. In terms of 610, of course, is open. We are looking at taking Clinton Drive and turning that into a two-way, so that the traffic can be restored, and hopefully that can get accomplished sometime this evening. That's the goal, is to turn one portion of Clinton into two-way traffic. With respect to the water itself, I know late last night, Houston Public Works took about 30 samples. These were samples that were not approved by TCEQ, but they wanted to start testing the water as quickly as possible. And then this morning, at about 8 a.m., a little before 8 a.m., TCEQ approved the City of Houston sampling plan. That was approved about a little before 8 o'clock this morning. And the way the protocols operate, it takes, those samples have to lay out, so to speak, for about 18 hours. So we anticipate, and there are 43 samples coming from different areas. Okay, TCEQ asked us to test 43 different locations, and we have pulled samples from 43 different locations, and those samples are currently in the Houston Laboratory Lab. They will lay out for the 18 hours, and the 18 hours will come up about 7 a.m. tomorrow. So until, and we are anticipating positive results, and the unapproved samples that we've looked at, tested, the chlorine level, for example, was normal, was fine. So we anticipate that the results will be positive, but those test sample results will not be available until sometime around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's at that point in time those results will be passed on to TCEQ, and it's my understanding that they will be working tomorrow morning waiting to receive those samples, and if everything is normal, then it's at that point in time that the boiling water notice will be lifted, and we can go back to normal operations. Until then, we remain under a boiling water notice. That's the requirement, and it takes about 18 hours for any of these samples to lay out. That's just a normal protocol to make sure that there's no bacteria that's in the water. So that's where things are. I've had an opportunity to talk to Bill McKean with the Texas Medical Center for the elective surgeries. They have rescheduled the elective surgeries at the Texas Medical Center. Their water appeared to be sufficient in terms of the quantity that they need. As I indicated to him, if the Texas Medical Center is needing an additional water, let us know. But he told me a few hours ago that thought everything was fine, and they were proceeding accordingly. Certainly want to thank There are several people I want to acknowledge before I pass it on to Dr. Persse. Certainly want to thank TxDOT for their collaboration with us on yesterday, because they end up pumping out the water on 610 much sooner than we had anticipated. So I want to thank TxDOT for their collaboration and cooperation. I want to thank the Texas Department of Emergency Management. They have been they've been in touch with us on a regular basis, and have offered whatever assistance that would be needed. So I want to thank the Texas Department of Emergency Management. I want to thank the TCEQ for their cooperation, and they're working with us, and we certainly appreciate that. I want to thank the retail grocery stores for us. Since we under the boiling water notice, people are going to the stores and purchasing bottled water, and then they are putting forth every effort to make sure that their shelves remain stocked, and I want to thank them. And then, of course, I want to thank Houstonians for their patience and for their cooperation. I know it's an inconvenience when people are having to boil their water before they drink it. But so I want to thank people for their patience and their cooperation, and I want to assure them that we're doing everything we can as quickly as we can to get that boiling water notice lifted. But there are certain protocols that we must follow, and that's what we intend to do. Having said that, let me now bring up Dr. Persse.
Thank you, Mayor. And I want to reiterate that the water pressure is up in most homes, and so in the home it may seem like everything is back to normal, but remind people not to be using the water for anything that would wind up with you consuming that water. And so we think about you're not going to drink it out of a glass, but there are other things that people don't always think about. So when if you're going to be preparing food, you would preferably either use water that you have already boiled, that needs to boil at a full rolling boil for 2 to 3 minutes. We recommend at least 3 minutes, and then you can let it cool in order to use it for cooking or for consumption. Even brushing your teeth or washing vegetables or things like that, you should use water that has been boiled, and then you can allow it to cool if you want to cool. You can cook food in boiling water. You should let it come to a full boil for a full minute before you put the food in it, and then let the food cook all the way through. The water is okay for washing your clothes. Just make sure that they come to a full dry in the dryer cycle, and those clothes are dried afterwards. I will point out that the Houston Health Department has been working with the restaurants in the area. We've got a small army of folks that have been going out, and today they have visited over 400 restaurants to make sure that they're following the guidance that we have provided to restaurants so that they can operate and yet still adhere to the requirements of the boil water recommendation. And we found great cooperation amongst the restaurants. They've been doing a great job, and so we're really thankful for that, and as I'm sure you are. In addition, this morning, my counterpart with Harris County, Dr. Umair Shah, who's the Harris County Public Health Authority, he and I met along with Bill McKeon, the Texas Medical Center, and we met yet again with multiple hospital systems and to go over the special nuances of hospital operations. And as the mayor pointed out, the elective surgeries have been canceled. Many clinics were canceled today, but by Monday we expect everything will be back up to full operations. And so from a medical and health standpoint, we're managing things. We're not quite back to normal, but we're managing things, and the public should feel quite assured that the healthcare community is in step with all the other recommendations and providing good, safe water and safe medical conditions, I should say, for people that need medical care.
Thank you. And I want to reiterate that with respect to our school systems, independent school districts, colleges, universities, community colleges, businesses, we expect to be back in full operation on Monday morning. So I would say be prepared to return to class on Monday morning. Jeff Weatherford.
As the mayor mentioned, we have gotten the samples out so that we can sit there and get the clearance that basically we have to try and grow the bacteria in the samples, and that's what takes us so long. That based on what we've seen, we expect to have a clean bill of health tomorrow morning. What happened here was we had the water line rupture. The crews will actually be done with repairing the line sometime tomorrow or early Sunday, but we have to clear the line and then we have to chlorinate it. So we'll be done and the line will be back in service late Monday, early Tuesday morning. That in the meantime, we're going to be shifting traffic on the eastbound lanes so we can provide two-way traffic and get Clinton back open again. Mayor.
And just bear in mind, anytime the pressure drops below 20 psi, then we are obligated to put forth the boiling water notice. So that's pretty much the cutoff. If the pressure drops below 20 psi, then the hot water notice takes effect. Chief Satterwhite.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So let me echo the mayor in thanking everybody for their patience yesterday, and for all the resources, all the departments that came out so quickly under the mayor's leadership, and to respond to this and get 610 open again. We were very happy to get it open overnight and get traffic moving again. We only ask that you continue with patience for us while we continue to hold Clinton Drive. As you can see, there's a lot of construction going on here. So we do anticipate getting 2 lanes open on the other side, but it's still going to be delays. So please be patient with us. We'll have officers out here. For the neighbors that live out here, we'll still be out doing extra patrols to make sure that your neighbors are safe. And again, we want to message anybody that think they would come out here and take advantage. We are out here, so we will hold you accountable. So with that, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Chief. Again, I want to thank all of the homeowners, the neighbors, the residents along Clinton Drive and in this area for their patience. We know it's been a huge inconvenience, and then want to thank Houstonians, certainly in the area, in the city of Houston, for their patience. We know it's an inconvenience to them as well. So we really want to be appreciative and thankful for everyone. And the goal is for this boil water notice to be lifted sometime tomorrow morning. That's the goal, and that's what we're hoping to achieve.